Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to the Starting 11 show. Arsenal need to bounce back after the disappointment of Thursday night's defeat to Sporting, and it is Palace at home. Plenty to break down. We're going to talk a little about Conte in his interview. We're going to talk a little bit about Patrick Vieira, what we're expecting from Palace, and of course the news that Saliba might not be available for the game today. So how do Arsenal respond? And joining me to discuss it is of course Gunnar Lee. Welcome Gunnar Lee. Julian is back as well. And Robbie. How are you, Robbie? How is everyone?
Good, man.
Yeah, I'm
looking
good.
forward to the game.
Good. Well, the energy's a bit low. Well,
No, good. It's a little bit nervous now because we're coming to that part of the season where it's become more and more serious. And all right, Thursday night wasn't as important as today is, but all our eggs are in one basket. It is all about today. Whereas if today hadn't gone right, then we've got something else to look forward to. Now it's all about this.
Yeah, 5-point gap though. Is it all about today, Robbie?
It's all about, well, I agree with Julian that every game now is a cup final. Every game is a must win. We may not win every game from now till the end of the season, but I think today is a pivotal game. If we win today, we go 8 points clear. City played yesterday in the FA Cup. Yes, they'd have a game in hand, obviously, but having points on the board at this stage of the season is so important. And psychologically, you know, even City, a team that's been used to winning titles over the last few years, used to chasing down teams, psychologically, 8 points is a big gap and means that you have no room for error. And when you look at you look at their running now at the moment, all of a sudden thrown into that is back-to-back games with Bayern Munich. If they come through that, they could have games with, either Chelsea or Real Madrid back-to-back, This is a great opportunity for Arsenal, right? And we've got to seize it, starting with today against a team that's been off form. Yeah. I know they've changed and tried, they're attempting the new manager bounce. Well, no manager bounce, but this is a big opportunity for Arsenal today.
It is. Lee, we're gonna touch in a little bit on Rob Holding, because I know you've got some thoughts, and we're sort of discussing off camera kind of what you want to see. So. Prep that in mind. Before we do go into all that, just want to remind you, as always, that this amazing watch along is powered by NordVPN, and they are still they love a party. They're still celebrating their birthday. So make sure that you get that bonus gift. Hit the link in the description below, or scan the QR code for the AFTV special and a mystery gift from NordVPN.
Why do you think you're unable to access new content on your favourite streaming services?
It's raining that day. We mustn't forget that it's been raining, so... It's been raining!
How did you end up with harmful malware on your laptop? Was that rain as well?
It's a disgrace!
What you need is NordVPN. Think of it as an umbrella, but just for your online activities.
I like umbrellas!
You'll be protected from harmful malware, viruses, and hackers.
Anything else?
It's super fast, and you can use it on up to 6 devices. Protected with complete freedom at the touch of a button.
You, sir, are not a disgrace. Thank you.
Remember, with the AFTV special, you can get a bonus gift.
Right, let's talk. I was going to say the Rob Holding stuff. Before we do, and before we go really into the meat of the Arsenal stuff, Antonio Conte, did everyone see that yesterday?
Yeah.
Gosh. Fabulous.
Madness.
Fabulous.
Madness.
I know, I kind of get... I know Tottenham fans are happy that he's kind of calling out the people above, and I hear all that, but these are your employers, man. Like, come on, he's just there to cause carnage now.
Yeah, you can tell he doesn't want to be there no more. And listen, I don't really kind of want to talk about Spurs too much, and I don't think any of us do. But in truth, what I will say is that he's not done a good job. You can see, look, he's on £15 million a year. He's a win now manager, and he's not winning. So I think ultimately this marriage is definitely heading towards a divorce. And listen, the sooner the better. I think Harry Kane will follow suit as well. He should. And the death of one club that I definitely want to see go seems to be on the way. So.
I want him to stay.
I want him to stay.
I mean, it was when I watched it. I was shocked. I was like, obviously we've seen him do rants already this season, but that one was like.
But you know what?
That one was unreal.
Is it actually shocking? He did it against Burnley last season away. He's done it. He's done it like 3 times last season, and now this season he's done it, I think, twice. He's gone away because obviously, okay, fine, he wasn't well. But I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm actually not shocked about what he's done.
It's actually not shocking because if you look at his personality, it's very similar to Mourinho, is that what Spurs did is totally opposite to what Arsenal did, in as much as they get in a manager to give them short-term success. Now, for them, they didn't get any trophies out of it, which is great. So can you say it's success? But what he did get is he got them top 4 football. He got them Champions League football last season, whereas when he came in, it looked very unlikely. So managers like that are for the short term, gives them a short-term kick. And what I think that interview was almost like a job interview for his next position. I think.
Who'd want to employ him after hearing that?
I don't know.
Well, because what he's doing, he's distancing himself already from the results. He's basically saying, look, it's not my fault. I'm a great manager. Let's read between the lines. I'm looking for my next job here. He knows he's on his way out. Again, short-term position, short-term appointment, whereas the Arteta appointment was very much planning for the future. He's here to stay.
Where's his accountability? I mean, you're talking about Tottenham's history, was talking about, these players don't want to suffer. You're meant to make them suffer.
Exactly.
You're the one that's meant to instill this in them.
I ain't being funny, this is dead football, right?
Yeah.
That when you look at Tottenham's team, right, and you look at the attacking options that they have, I mean, they should be killing teams, right? And, but it's him. This guy, the only way he can play is a 3 at the back. If you're playing against him, you know he's going to do it already, isn't it?
And
right? And to me, that's why they didn't kill that game off yesterday, because he's so pragmatic in every single way. When's he going to take a bit of responsibility? But you know what? Let him stay there, man.
Yeah,
I think it's so true, and I think. Listen, even tapping Tobes, I was reveling in his post-mortem, I should say, of the game yesterday. And listen, you're right. There's no accountability. He doesn't. Everything is, away from him. Everybody else, and I think he said something about the players, didn't show any responsibility on the pitch. Well, you're picking these players. You're the one that are picking these players, and they're not seeming motivated. You're the ones that are meant to be the motivator. So, overall, he doesn't.
He's washed.
He needs to go. He does need to go.
That's my opinion.
He's not good enough.
There's one part of it that I absolutely loved, and you can't argue with it. What he said is, this situation has been going on for 20 years, and it has probably more. I mean, I've been sort of supporting Arsenal since been first game, I think 76. I don't remember Spurs ever being successful. They won the old FA Cup, but that was back in the early 80s.
I think
so he was actually completely accurate about that.
I mean, the point he's trying to make, right? The point he's trying to make is that this sort of Spursy thing has been going on for over 20 years now, where they bottle it, right?
Years.
But you're in charge now.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the guy to stop that. You know what I mean? So, no accountability, like James says, man.
Yeah, I've got to
luck
say,
to them.
while we all enjoy, the Tottenham pain, I think if you take away the rivalry for a second, I mean, I sympathise with the fans from your managers. I said if you take the rivalry away, in a sense of, imagine sitting there and just your manager slagging off your club like this.
No, I don't sympathise with them lot at all. They all want us to lose the league. Yeah. They've all got.
Forget the Arsenal Tottenham thing as a football club with football.
I can't forget it. Right? They've all got light blue.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win.
Flexibility.
You're not going to win, James. You're not going to win.
Let's go to Diallo Super Chat. Says they took a shortcut to success. We took the long road. Mark T says DR Sports had a debate on Arsenal being knocked out the Europa competition, whether it's a blessing or did we fail. Personally, I wanted to win both competitions. Conte bought players that don't gel. Yeah, I think we all wanted to win both. People were, how do I explain? People were going too far with this. When people were saying blessing in disguise, the result was done. There's no other way to look at it. Arsenal fans are forced to try and see it.
I will say, my personal opinion, it's a blessing in disguise, right? I want to win the league, right? We probably don't have a squad good enough to, at this moment in time, to fight on all fronts. The games that we've got remaining, if we would have been in the Europa League, is tantamount to being in the Champions League. You're up against Juventus and probably Manchester United, or even Sevilla. Those are games where you cannot rest anybody. Those are games where you're going to have to go into those games with your full team. At this moment in time, I don't think we've got that to fight on both fronts. We can concentrate on the league and the league alone.
Well, what I would say and ask, listen, this is a question I think for all four of us to think about. Is that mentality a small-minded club's mentality?
No, it's a sensible mentality. Next season, that'll be a small-minded mentality.
What I would say,
this season, I feel that is a smart mentality. Listen, by the way, we didn't try to lose the game. We tried everything we did to win the game.
No, but
saying is it a blessing or a curse, right? Is it a blessing in disguise? I feel it is. I feel that, you know, whilst I was disappointed that we didn't win the game the other night, when I really think about it, I want the league. If the season finish up and we don't win the league and we won the Europa League, I'd still be a bit disappointed. I'll be honest with you.
I'd have been.
I want the league.
But you know, listen. I don't actually think there's a right or wrong answer in this. I think, you know, people can, you know, level that you're sitting on the fence or I'm sitting on the fence. But I will say, on Thursday, I was genuinely distraught. I was really upset, not because of anything other than I just feel the players really. They just let themselves down. They did. And it really, but at the same time, I now look at it and I'm saying, yes, we have a really, really big chance. We have 11 cup finals to go and we have a chance to do something really, really special. But I don't normally worry about fans and rival fans, what they say about Arsenal, but I just don't like that mentality because no matter what, if these players at the end of the season win the league, they're now made men, no matter what age they are. So we can't keep saying Saka's only 21 or next season he'll be 22, Martinelli, Saliba, because they would have won the league. So we can't then still do the same thing with, this season, okay, we come out Europa League, but then next season we leap all this expectation that they have to perform game in, game out with the Champions League and the league and the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup and, you know, all these other competitions that we're going to be in. I just think we should have tried, we did try our best to go through, but I think we should have started off starting 11, the strongest starting 11, because it also you think about team harmony. You think about Fulham last week. James, you were at the game. They made 5 substitutes, and the substitutes they made, I think Arteta was really smart because it wasn't just about bringing those players on, but it was the unity within the squad. Everybody was happy.
Played a strong team.
He did.
Now we're out without Saliba and
I know,
Tomiyasu.
but you
and
can
this is why I'm saying,
you
for
can
me,
do either or.
even when I was looking at the game, it'd be like some of the games, for instance, I'll be like Liverpool followed by Juventus folled by West Ham away. I personally now, I'm more happy that we're going to be going into a game. So there's going to be no teams like West Ham sitting waiting for us in an away game, knowing that we played midweek. As a matter of fact, when we play West Ham, they would have played on the Thursday night because they're still in the conference. They're still in the Conference League, so they would have played on the Thursday night, and we'll be waiting for them on the Sunday. I think how Arsenal been playing this season, where it's all about pressing, energy, being like straight at team straight away, right? Having that week off to just work on that and hone that.
Just my only last point chance of winning the league. My only last point was with the Saliba thing. He was injured within, what was it? I don't know, 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes. So I'm just, all I was thinking of, that was very innocuous, that what happened.
Yeah, but it's still during the game.
It could have been during it could have been in training.
It could have been during any game.
It could have been during any game.
It could have been during any game, but it was during a Europa League game.
Yeah, but
Tomiyasu out injured during the, so to me, I'm just looking at it and saying now it's pure focus on the league, right? Well, the league supersedes everything. The biggest thing we could have won at the start of the season is the league.
Yeah.
And we have got a great chance of winning it. And I just look at it, even remember when Leicester won it. Leicester just had a clear run at it. They didn't have to worry about European football.
They didn't have any Europe, did they? They got knocked out of the cups quite early.
But we're still in the situation, really, we're in the Leicester situation now. Because we are where we are now. And we've got a clear run at it now from now till the end of the season.
And City haven't.
No, they've got difficult, and those are difficult, even though they're playing really well at the moment, but these are difficult games they've got coming up. You know what I mean? Games that, you know, suppose they lose to Bayern, that could be a real knockback in their confidence. You know, I mean, listen, City are City, they're a great team that's chasing us. They've been there, done that. But I just feel, for us at this moment in time, just going at that alone, I don't think. I mean, look at this weekend. This weekend's an example. It's an FA Cup. We're out of the FA Cup. We all love the FA Cup, although we've won it many a times. But we've got a chance to take advantage of City because they're in the FA Cup and we're not. And we can take advantage of that in the league. And even, I said this the other day as well. If you look at Manchester United the other day, when they played Real Betis in the first game, fair play to them, they got the job done in that first game. They put out their strongest team. Was it they won 4-1?
Yep.
But what was their result on the Saturday in the league?
But I think they're reversed.
Hold on. No, I'm just saying, what was their result against the team at the bottom of the league?
10 men as well.
But they was at the bottom of the league. They drew
in the last 20 minutes.
Bottom of the league. They drew 0-0. They're now 16 points off Arsenal, and that is what I look at and I say.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago, people were saying that they got a chance of winning.
I'm going to move on from this because we've got to talk about the 11 that's out in 14 minutes. The big thing, and you all alluded to it, is the injuries that we've picked up. And I hear Robbie's point. It has meant we've come out of that game with Tomiyasu and Saliba as well, likely unavailable for today. I want to bring up Rob Holding's numbers from the Sporting game because I just want to give him a little bit of credit that I think he deserves for performance. Everyone was talking about the team not playing that well. But here are his numbers on the day. He ranked second with 5 aerial duels. He ranked first with 3 blocks in the game, 5th with 57 passes, and first with 4 clearances as well. If we can get that on screen as well and show everyone, that'd be great. But he was right up there in the thick of it when Arsenal were struggling, especially in that second half. He really, really stepped up.
Do you know what? Listen, I think there are some we have a base level of quality right now, and I think probably in our first 11, you would probably say Ramsdale's maybe the one that you would look at and say he's a great player, but you can see a little error. You can see a little error in him at times. I think the level of quality we have in our team is so good. Someone like Holding just really brings that level down. And look, you can have individual moments. You can have individual, games where you really step up and you do some really good stuff. And those stats were amazing from the other day. And I don't think that he was necessarily at fault for anything. But I just think that the way that we play, when you bring someone like Holding in, he dramatically changes the way we play. And
does he?
He's a solid centre half.
You're going to see.
Has he dramatically changed?
You see those Crystal Palace fans, and those Crystal Palace players. Oh, Holding's playing, rubbing my hands together. They know he's the target. They are. They talk about all these sharks and these fishes. That's the bait.
Who do you play then?
I would play Tierney.
He's not left-footed. Sorry, he's left-footed.
He is left-footed. Yeah. But do you know what? I think a 50% Tierney is better than Holding. I really do.
You're dissing Rob Holding.
He's not going to be as threatening as powerful in the air. I mean, one thing about Holding, he's a solid centre half.
He is a solid centre half.
He's good in the air. He's aggressive. Yeah, he's not up to the performance of Saliba.
No.
That's why he's a squad player.
Yeah.
But he's good enough to come in, as he proved last season. He came in at the tail end of last season, did a good job, other than when Son played him.
What I would say though, if you look at, and there was this new kind of phrase that Arteta's brought out for the Arsenal squad, and we have starters and finishers. He knows his role now. He is a squad player, but he is the finisher. He will come in the last 5-10 minutes if we are 2-up, backs against the wall, and it's that whole thing. Rob Holding comes on.
Also be a starter when Saliba's not there.
Yeah, you're right.
He's the understudy.
And I don't agree with that though.
He's good enough to be that.
I don't think he's the first choice starter.
He's not first choice.
He's not the first choice starter. No,
he's not the first choice starter. No, he's the first choice to come in.
He's a second choice starter.
I don't even think that.
He's the first choice to come in if Saliba's injured.
I don't think. I think Arteta would rather rejig this defensive.
I don't think he would. I don't even think he would have moved Ben White into that position. I think he would have still stuck to have Ben White outright and put Holding in. Holding, listen. Where's this hate coming from?
No, it's not. No, but that's different. I'm not saying
Holding had a good game the other night.
Okay, all right,
if he had come in the other night,
right? Can I just ask?
Let me say, if he had come in the other night and he had a shocker, right? I agree. I would be able to sort of understand what you're saying.
Okay.
He come in the other night against a very good Sporting team, a team that was on top.
Yeah.
And he played well. He was one of the only players in that team that I would say, good performance.
That's
why
fine.
are you going to leave him out of this?
But I could say, okay, so what you're saying then, by your theory, when Reece Nelson scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest and got man of the match, should he have started over Saka? Because that's what you're saying.
But Saka weren't injured.
Yeah.
It's not the same logic.
No, but you can't.
Saka wasn't injured.
You can't just pick one individual game and then say
but Saka weren't injured.
I look at it and say there's a better player.
If Saliba to be fit today, he'd be playing.
There's a better player.
Saliba started every game in the Premier League this season.
I do think there's a better player.
Right now he's injured. Rob Holding's an experienced player. He's still a fairly young guy.
He's a solid guy.
He's not Saliba. We know that. He's not Saliba.
But he's not.
Based off of what he even did the other night, I'm like, put him in.
The issue Arteta's got is he's got to find that, so Saliba is the perfect athlete. He's good on the ball. He's right-footed, so he ticks all the boxes he wants from that position. Now with Holding, you've got a right footer. He's been there a long time. He's got experience, but he's not got that recovery pace, that athleticism. You then got maybe a Kivior, who I think does look a more athletically gifted player than Rob Holding, but then are you going to go with 2 left footers? That's something he's not been really happy to do either. So that's where I think, that's where the dilemma is. You're not going to get the perfect profile to come in unless you're talking Raw Walters coming in at right back and White to centre, but that's just not going to happen either. He does have a little bit of, he's got to compromise somewhere. And I kind of get what you're saying, because if we are going to play a high line and squeeze Palace, I'm telling you right now they will target the Holding position. Even though I'm with Robbie, he deserves to start, but they will target Holding.
Of course they will.
And because he is the weakest link. Doesn't mean he's weak though.
My other thing is why I actually also thought about the whole Tierney at centre back is because he's done it for his national team. It's not. I know he does play on the left hand side, and sometimes he will be in a back three, and it's on the left hand side of that back three. But he has got previous of that. He also played in a back two, in a back four when he was playing against Louise for us.
The left-hand side.
The left-hand side, I know, but what I'm saying to you is, I just think that you look at someone who's dependable, you look at someone who's got the pace.
Balance.
Every time I think about Holding, no matter how many good performances, I know that he's got Tottenham away last season. I know he's got that performance in him, and let's be honest, in the last 3 years, he's had more of those performances than the Sporting.
I think sometimes, listen, if you've got your squad sometimes, right, as a manager.
I mean, the majority of the games that Holding has come in for, he's played well. So
he's only come in 10 minutes
The majority of his games have been like the Spurs performance. It's just not true. He was, I wouldn't say he was unfortunate. He got found out. Son was on form. Son's a great player, and he was on form. And he also cheated to the full extent, and he got him sent off. And it was, I'm not going to say unfortunate, he got found out, but that doesn't happen that often. More often than not, Rob Holding comes in and does a solid job.
I thought he did well at the Etihad in the Man City game in the Cup.
Yes, he did actually.
Marking Haaland.
And if it weren't for the yellow card, Arteta, I think might have.
So the evidence is right that when he comes in, he's a solid, like you said, James, solid pro. We know he's not Saliba. He's not Saliba. But he's a solid pro. Kivior has just come. He's an inexperienced guy. He's still got to, learn the Premier League. Do you really want to throw him in a game like this? Plus, he's left-footed anyway.
Yeah, and even he didn't have a great debut.
He didn't have a great debut either. But away in the Europa League, Holding's done all right. And when he came on the other night, I thought against a very good Sporting side, very attacking team with some tricky players, right? He did very well, and I thought. It kind of made me feel a little bit better about today because I'm like, he's had like a full game. He's not just being dropped in cold. He's had a full game at the Emirates where we're playing today. And I think, Saliba's always a big miss. Yeah. He's always going to be a big miss because he's such a top quality player, but Rob Holding's solid.
Be interested to see how Arsenal adapt. It's our first game this season, I believe, in the league where we haven't started with our first choice centre-back pair, so we'll see how they respond. Let's quickly, we've got about 6 minutes, so the 11's out, of course. We will bring that immediately as it comes through. Let's talk a little bit about Palace, of course, the opponents, because there's quite a lot. I'm going to rattle off these 3 different graphics and stats here. Their last 4 times at the Emirates have finished with a 3-2 win for Palace, a 2-2 draw, a 0-0, and a 2-2 as well. So we haven't actually beaten them in our last 4.
We were lucky to get that 2. We was right at the end.
Was that Lacazette when the celebration police came out as well?
Yeah. Let's also talk about apologies to production because I'm mixing up a little bit, but we've got a poor record against Palace as well, having only won 3 of our last 10 against them. However, we have won 8 of the 10 before that. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is actually how unfortunate I think the sacking was. We did touch on this in the live show, so apologies if you have seen it. But I wanted to bring up these numbers, that Palace hit 12th in the table. They did going into the weekend on 27 points. Their net spend going into this season was the 15th highest in the league, so already they're outperforming that. Their total spend was the lowest of any team in the league. The average position of the teams that they've placed post-World Cup up until today was 7th in the table, and their average position of teams in the run-in is 13th. I think this sacking is so harsh on Vieira.
Very harsh, because if you look at the running games that he had, when I actually sat down and looked at him, I'm like, probably one of those games you give him a shout in on paper. They're not expected to beat Chelsea, and they're not expected to beat, City and all these teams. You know what I mean? So it is very harsh. And then he was gonna, after playing us, have a run of games that were winnable. Well, listen, I guess when you haven't won for 12 games, I think it was that thing as well. They had a shot on target in 3 games, which was quite damning. Let's hope that continues today.
Well, they did have a shot against Brighton.
They had a shot against Brighton. They did play better against Brighton.
Yeah, it was on target. Yeah.
They played better against Brighton, but you know, listen, this is a big opportunity for us. I know we've got you said about that poor record, but then remember we did go there earlier on in the season. Put in a great performance, beat them. Their confidence is going to be low, right? They might sort of, you know, manager.
They could have that no manager bounce.
No manager bounce. Yeah, they might have might relieve a bit of pressure.
Last season.
In a way, you look at it like this, it could relieve a little bit of pressure. They could play with a bit more freedom, but then also you can look on it and say the pressure's on, especially after the results yesterday. The pressure's on Palace. They are starting to slide into the relegation zone. I really want Arsenal to go out, fast start, really go after them. Because I think Palace is the type of team that, you know, if you go a goal down, it will be a problem. But if we can get, you know, score some goals, I think we can have a good afternoon. But we've got to win this game today.
I think it's a must not lose for Palace, and I just think that they won't be able to withstand what we've got going forward. Hence why I'm very confident. Yes, I know we spoke about holding, but I'm confident that we're going to win. Because I just
got to take our chances though. Because they are one of those teams. I remember that game against United. They were getting peppered. Got that little free kick at the end. Elise scored. They've got moments of quality.
They do.
You know what I mean? Elise, Eze, Zaha. These players that got moments of quality in them. So if you don't put them away, they can come back and haunt you. You know.
Gear Shift asks, James, are you going to check the hashtag AFTV11? We're not today, but it's going to become a regular feature of the show. You've seen we did it on Thursday. It will be a regular feature of the starting 11. So we'll get a hashtag running as well, so we're able to collate them all, via Twitter, Instagram, and all that, and we'll be able to go through the 11s that everyone wants. We haven't touched too much on the 11 everyone wants today. I know we touched on the Saliba holding stuff. Of course, we are going to find out in 3 minutes who it's going to be. I'm looking at the front 3 as well. It's very interesting because I think hands up, we all agree Saka. Yeah, Saka starts.
Yep.
Number 9, Jesus.
No.
Okay. No. Who are you throwing out there?
I'd have Trossard in.
Trossard. Okay, and left wing.
I'd have Martinelli.
Left wing Martinelli. Hands up. Okay, that's what I want. But I think it will be. I think it will be Jesus. I think it will be Trossard.
I want Jesus to start, man. He's looking lively. You know, I mean, he's ready now for 90 minutes. Can go full pelt. We go into an international break after this, and he's the sort of player that can unlock. He can unlock a team. So I'd love to see Jesus start. It's time.
It would be marvellous to get him coming off the bench if we need him.
Yeah, but
what are we waiting for now? You know what I mean? It's an international break next. I mean, he's going to be, even after this, got a couple.
He actually looked very effective when he came off the bench last week.
Yeah, but he looked very effective starting the game the other night. I think that we kind of dropped a bit when he went off. You know, second half we didn't really offer much up front. I'd love to see him start this game, running at that Palace defence. You know, I think Palace could be even missing their keeper as well today.
I saw that as well. But I think Trossard. What we know is when you play Trossard, and I think the difference that I like about someone like Trossard than someone like Jesus is when Trossard starts, I think his game overall is a lot better than when he comes on the pitch. He has been effective when he comes off the bench. But I'd like him to start because I just feel like he takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, to warm in and grow into the game. Then he almost like explodes and he just, you know, does a lot of magical moments in the game. So I really do think Trossard, you know, I mean, either one. I mean, this is, you know, we're nitpicking here. I like any of them to start 2 minutes. But I think today's game, you're right. I think it would be great to have the pace of Martinelli and Saka down the wings against, you know, the fullbacks of Crystal Palace, and I think, you know, that little genius in there, the like of Trossard in there, just to, you know, unlock a defence, as you said. I think he can really sort of bring something different to the forward line for us. And what we saw against Leicester away, really good, interchanging with the likes of Martinelli, and we saw it against Aston Villa as well, really good. So I think I'm happy for Trossard to start today.
Trossard brings out the best in Martinelli.
I think I've got the 11, by the way.
Okay.
So we Well, I say this, but it's
it
again,
one of
it's
those
not the
unofficial ones?
official
Is it the
Arsenal.
Oh,
AFTV?
this way, official might be here.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling to see if I got
it
the
is 1
official.
o'clock.
Go on, he's got the official.
Right, I got the official. So the official is Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, Rob Holding starts from the beginning, Gabriel Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard.
Yeah.
Right, that is the start. No Jesus in from the start, and on the bench is Turner, Tierney, Walters, Kivior, Jorginho, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nelson, and Jesus. That is the bench. So Holding in from the start.
Yep. As expected.
But no Jesus in from the start. Trossard in.
You got
Martinelli.
That is
Palace team.
Let me look for the Palace
Who's in
team.
goal for them?
Actually, I just wanted to know who's playing up front for them. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I'll get the Palace team in a
They've got a
sec.
teenager, haven't they? As a
Yeah,
goalkeeper?
they're third.
That could be a big effect.
Look, and do you know what? Like, I know we're not probably going to go into it too much now, but that is what I want Arteta to get into the team. First 5 minutes, I want 3 shots. Test the keeper out. He's coming to the Emirates. We're a raucous crowd, and
He would have never played in front of the
never,
crowd like
never.
this
And I
here.
think the Premier League crowd, not to say that the Europa League crowd wasn't good, but they're 2 different kinds of people that are going. I think, and I think we're going to put it on him. So,
Can I just say that a lot of people, a lot of journalists actually tweeted that Jesus was starting. So I'm very interested to see whether that was a late change or something, but it could just be an error. But
They always get it wrong.
Yeah.
It's multiple sources, which is a weird one. But anyway, yes, it is Trossard.
This is the Crystal Palace lineup. Whitworth.
And that's the reserve
so yeah,
keeper.
he's the reserve
he's a
keeper.
third
He's in goal.
keeper.
He's a third choice
He
keeper.
did actually do all right the other day when I saw him
Against Brighton.
He did okay. Ward, Gay, Anderson, Mitchell, Milivojevic, Decore, Schlupp, Elise, Zaha, and Edouard in from the beginning.
Can you read that midfield again? Is that Decore, Schlupp, and Milivojevic?
Yeah, Decore, Schlupp,
a
and
physical
Milivojevic.
midfield,
Yeah, very physical midfield.
That's like the Everton. When they did the Corey guy.
And then the subs of Goodman, Tompkins, Richards, Klein, Hughes, Armada, Eze, Ayew, and Mateta. So that is the Palace team. So Elise, Zaha, Edouard up front. That's
So
pace.
really good. I mean,
Pace,
there's
but I
energy
think
and pace in
I look at that
front
midfield and I'm like, that can be got at, man. You know what I mean? And the back four. This is where Anderson and Gay, 2 good defenders. Out wide, Ward. I don't think Mitchell's been as great this season as he was last year as well. This is where we've got to try and exploit. And as I said, through that midfield, Zinchenko joining up.
Of course, Sambi Lokonga's been playing a lot of minutes,
Yeah,
and
so
he's
take-
Sambi Lokonga can't play,
because of the-
and he's and they've all been saying how well he's played. Sambi Lokonga. So
right now, I probably wish he was playing.
no, he's been one of their best players. They've been raving over him. So
Which probably shows.
He was brilliant against Liverpool.
yeah, he was.
But it
And
was
quite
excellent.
good against
But it
City.
shows the level Palace are at.
That's my point,
compared
yeah.
with the level that we're at. That Sambi Lokonga, however good or bad you think he is, the reality was he couldn't get into Arsenal's team,
That is
and
my
he
point.
walks into Palace's team. But the other thing is, if you look at their midfield, it's set up as their manager said. Their manager used the word aggression 3 times in 3 sentences, so we kind of know what's coming. Is what they're going to.
That's every team we play though at the moment.
Not
isn't it?
every-
So
not
apart
every
from
team.
City, we know every team's going to try come very aggressive in the midfield.
It's just they've come to nullify us
Yeah.
rather than play.
That's what I said. It's
But that's what they always do when they
for
come to the
Palace,
Emirates.
it's very much. It's a must not lose the game. They
Yeah.
cannot
Listen,
lose the game.
every time Palace come, we know what they're coming to do.
Counter.
They're coming to counter-attack. It's going to be, pretty defensive, and then as soon as they win that ball, get it up to Zaha, get it up to Elise, try and break with pace.
But if they are going to be overly aggressive, I think the referee needs to make sure that.
Well, I wouldn't rely on that if I was.
The referee has a big part to play here, because if they are going to come and be over aggressive, we need the referee to do his job.
Have you seen that this season?
I mean,
Don't rely on that, man. We
whatever-
just got to do.
Yeah.
To me, we just got to do our job, right?
No excuses,
Crystal
man.
Palace are in serious trouble of relegation. We've got to go stamp our authority on the game. Fast start. Get in front. You know what I mean? This is what we got to do. Not like when we play Bournemouth.
Test the teenager in goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
this is
Have some shots early.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those games
3 or
look at
4
you say
first half.
winnable game. You know what I mean? When you look at the team that we're up against, winnable. We've got to take advantage of this. Not saying it's going to be easy. They gave.
It should be.
They
easy.
gave City a tough game.
Great game.
They gave City a tough game. City only got over the line with a penalty. But I'm saying that we're at home. We've got to take advantage of this, whichever way.
We'll see what Arsenal throw at Palace. I'm hoping for a fast start. Let's go through your super chats before we round everything off. Nikhil says, why can't right backs play left back, but left backs can't play right back? Yeah, he's actually got a point. Yeah, you never see Tierney at right back. It's a fair point from Nikhil. Tina says, Conte has a good point. Kane as a captain hasn't led Spurs to anything when Spurs were in a title hunt back in 2016. A great captain has led Spurs to the title, like Keane and Turin 1999. Fair enough. Perth says, Robbie, you knew this was coming. Mourinho was right. Arsenal are specialists in failure. Even Mourinho qualified low.
He said Arsenal was a specialist.
We're going to win a
He never said
treble.
Arsenal were.
Fair enough, you're right. People say mentality as if we decided to lose. He's talking about the Europa League tie, says Diallo. Peter says, thoughts on the FA Cup semi-final draw today as the game what we played the weekend before we play City, so hopefully City get United. Yeah, that's what I want. I want City
That'll be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Haynes says the loss against Sporting could galvanise the team. It could give them the bitterness of defeat without losing the league. Want to see a reaction today. I kind of agree. I really hope that the Emirates crowd and the players are thinking, right, let's right that wrong, go off into the international break in the right headspace. Sophie says the issue is City are used to playing every 3 days. That is true.
Still takes its toll.
It's harder.
And they are used to doing that, but it's and that is. He makes a great point because we are not used to doing it.
You think about it though, like
we're not used to doing it.
They have almost 3 teams, don't they? They've got Diaz. They've had Diaz on the bench for a large portion. Laporte on the bench for a large portion. Sorry. What's the I always forget his name. Julian Alvarez on the bench for a large portion, and we have to remember he was instrumental in his team, his country, winning the World Cup.
And so we don't have that.
We don't have that.
But we've still got a very strong bench.
We do.
Look at today's bench. It's might not be quite as strong as City's, but it's still we've got some phenomenally good.
What City have? Well, we've got a bench of players that we're happy to bring on and happy to play. Whereas they've got players that they're genuinely like, is it going to be De Bruyne or Bernardo? And that is literally what he's had to decide about. Decide with recently. And that's a different level.
I think
of
just to go jump on that, I think we've got players that we're happy to bring on. They've got a bunch of first team players, like actual first team players to bring on.
Who start for any other team,
for any team, including their own team. So I think that's the difference they've got.
Alvarez,
so it's
Afro-Saxon says we should go for Sporting's Jeremiah St. Juste, the defender in the summer. He was very good. Honest Arse fan says, relax. Robbie, are you Thai in disguise? He asked. Rob Holding isn't good. If Palace beat us because of his mistakes, let's see you try and defend him. Ooh.
If he plays
but I think that's unfair. I think that's unfair.
Yeah, once you've got a squad, you've got to trust your squad, right? You've got this guy be training week in, week out, knowing that he could be called upon. And if there's an injury to Saliba got injured the other night. He came in, he did well. You know what I mean? Did that guy? I want you to praise him for his performance the other night before we diss him for a performance he hasn't even had yet.
Yeah. Agreed. Zubair says Holding was part of the FA Cup winning team. Hashtag respect. He has had some big big games.
Really well.
Look how long ago that was, man. Come on. Dele Alli played well against us a few seasons ago. Now he's not even allowed to come to the Besiktas training ground. We can't keep doing this whole years ago. And I'm not talking about. He has.
Well in the last game. And he played well in the FA Cup.
He has.
And he played well last season when he came in, apart from a 20-25 minute spell against Son where he got sent off. He doesn't often let us down.
I would disagree with that, but I don't think I'm not like sitting here saying, it's the end of the world. But my preference, if you're asking me, 110%, I would rather have Tierney in that position. As I said, I'm not saying it other than anything I've seen him play there for his national team.
When have you ever seen Tierney play on the right-hand side?
Sometimes it's horses for courses. I just think I'm worried. You look at
No.
You look. If you look. Hold on. Sometimes you think about like who is another replica of someone like Son. I would probably say the closest person to that is Zaha. Zaha can get under people's skin. Zaha is a very
great player.
He's an electric player who, he's going to be like, as I said, he's literally woke up this morning. What have I got in my hand? What have I got in my head? I've got my breakfast and I've probably got Rob Holding because he knows he's going to be going straight for him. And I just think that Rob Holding, hopefully, they are both two front-footed centre-backs. Are they going to be rushed? Are they going to be? That's all I'm worried about.
What I would say though, unless we have some mad, we can see 2-3 games, which is absolutely shambolic. For me, I'm looking at the attack today. It's a bit like that Brentford game where we drew 1-1. I know the goal shouldn't have stood, but as much as we were leaky at the back, we put them under pressure by getting just the one goal, and then kind of hang everything on that. They've got to do their job. If they score goals today, we'll win the game. Final super chat from Haynes says, I love AFTV. Big up everybody, and a big thanks to you as well. Of course, AFTV, this very channel, will be live in about 20 minutes. Looking ahead to the watch along and get some score predictions. But are you on the watch along?
I am on the watch along.
Right, so we won't get your prediction because it's all part of the whiteboard game that we'll be playing. Robbie, what have you gone for?
2-0.
3-0.
So on Forever Hustle, I went 4-0. Obviously, I've got to stick with that for that.
Yeah.
But I am slightly.
You're going Brits. You don't normally go that.
No, I don't. But I'm kind of. I was backing the team for a response. I actually thought Saliba would be fit, and I thought Jesus would start. Knowing the team now,
You're trying to back out of it.
3-1. Yeah.
And let's not forget, right? This season, every time we've been sort of had setbacks, we've responded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you in the Forever Arsenal league table?
Let's not talk about it.
All right, well, then it's not going to be 4-0 then. Guys, do not put 4-0 in any accumulators. I'll probably trust Judges or someone like Turkish because it ain't going to be 4-0.
I would never trust
Judges.
Don't trust Judges.
I love you, man. I love
you too. Right, remember that NordVPN is keeping us invincible by powering this AFTV matchday experience, as they always brilliantly do. Do hit the link in the description below or scan the QR code for the AFTV special with a mystery gift from NordVPN. A big thank you to everyone who has supported us. Go support NordVPN as well. Big thank you to everyone. We're off to the game, the three of us. You're here, so you'll see Goonlee and the rest of the team very, very soon. Big thanks. Catch you in a bit.
Wow, Lee, you're levitating.
NordVPN has made me one with the universe, Cecil. No more pop-ups, no malware, and I'm saving money exploring international prices. Also, all my devices are protected by next-generation encryption.
So you found peace?
Yes, Cecil. Just change your location in the app and transcend space and time.
Wow, I feel invincible.
Tell the nice people what to do.
Click the link, people. Click the link.
Go to nordvpn.com/AFTV now.